What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt, the podcast. We are joined today by none other than Toby himself.
Hello.
Coming at us from his basement.
Where he kills people.
From my basement, on my phone.
On his phone.
He tucks his wiener between his legs and dances to just all kinds of weird music.
Actually, he tucks his wiener and dances to Slipknot, which is the topic of today's episode. We are going to be talking all things Lipsnot, anything you could think of that has something to do with Slapnut in some degree or another. We are going to be talking about it. Toby lost it. Anyway.
And then, you can't just say Slapnut and expect me not to laugh.
I have to add it somewhere. If I don't say Slapnut or Slapnut in a Slipknot, I'm confusing myself now. If I don't say it at least once in a Slipknot related video, I'm failing at my job. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's facts.
Regardless, of course, I am Jacob, and this is Derek as well. You recognize us from episode 1, hopefully, if you watched it, and if you didn't, you're failing at your job. You should go watch that.
Get on it.
Yeah, for real. We talked about a bunch of stuff, but also Five Nights at Freddy's was the main topic of that one, and it was a pretty fun episode. Not gonna lie, it was pretty fun. But as I said,
it was fun but frustrating.
Yes, it was. We talked all about the frustrations of and the good stuff. We pulled out some good stuff too. It wasn't all just bashing here and there, but it was very frustrating at the same time. But that's okay. That's the name of it. Hey, we don't speak that name. So, but I don't know if we have a specific structure to this video, but I'm assuming we'll probably talk about the album ranking first, right? And then next we'll discuss.
Let's talk about the albums first, and then we'll get into like an album ranking. Do we want to do songs or albums first?
I'm down for either one. It don't matter to me.
Toby.
I have them written in...
Your podcast, my guy.
You're the guest. Send it home. Send it home, baby.
I personally have it listed with albums first, but it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it doesn't really matter, all things considered, so... Yeah, I'm down either way. We can go ahead. Let's just go ahead and do albums first, and we can talk about them first as well. And then we'll rank them. And then next we'll do our top 10 songs. And then towards the end of the video, maybe the third mark, the last third of the video, we'll talk about just Slipknot in general. We'll discuss a little bit of some current events that are going on and some stuff that's been happening in the world of Slapnut. And stuff I don't really want to talk about, of course, because it's heartbreaking to see a band that I grew up with that literally just has been a huge pivotal moment in my music life in general go in the direction that they're going, unfortunately. And I think I speak for all three of us in that regard, because it's upsetting. It really sucks. But at the same time, they've also put out some just absolutely memorable music that I still listen to today with tons of joy, tons of aggression, tons of rage, and I love every second of it. So, Derek, go ahead. What are we doing album discussion wise?
We'll go ahead and start talking about the first album, which came out June 29th, 1999. Now, I was going into 6th grade when this album came out. Toby, how old were you?
I was shitting my diapers.
You're right. He was shitting in his diapers at 7 years old. Okay.
You said it was June of 99?
Yeah.
I would have been like a year and a half old.
Okay. In fairness, I was potty trained by this point. I wasn't diapers yet, or still, but I definitely was not very old either.
I'm just the old fucker of the group, I guess. Whatever.
Derek's the dad of the grandpa.
But
Derek's the grandpa. I'm the dad. Toby's the baby boy.
this album, like, before we did the episode, at least Jacob and I, because Toby is ill prepared for everything. We went through and re-listened to everything, kind of getting a modern look at everything.
God damn.
And dude, yeah, it was a lot of fun going through everything because it's been so long since I went back through and listened to the first album. And while I do like really enjoy this album, it's like it's great groundwork for what comes next and later. Like
Yeah.
the first song that like I remember hearing from this album, which it wasn't in '99 because at that point I'm not gonna say the music I was listening to in '99 because I was 11. But Wait and Bleed, of course,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a big
yeah.
like I think that's just about everybody. Well, at least from my age group, everybody's like intro into Slipknot was Wait and Bleed.
Honestly, Wait and Bleed is the first song I ever heard by Slipknot, ever.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree. As a matter of fact, I think it was probably, and this could be a stretch too, because I'm not entirely certain. My memory is not the greatest, but I have a feeling it's probably one of the first, if not the first, like heavy metal music videos that I ever watched as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like other than, I mean, unless you count like Metallica and stuff like that, but I'm talking like going into the more heavy genres of metal, like Slipknot and stuff, especially early Slipknot, which was fucking brutal. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The shit is fucking ball pounding. That was probably one of the first heavy music videos that I watched ever in my life.
Just like one thing, like I kind of kept thinking when I was listening to the album again, I was like, man, there is so much just fucking hate and anger in this album.
Oh yeah,
I love it. But
Yeah.
my thing is, it's kind of like it's not really focused. It's all like when I say all over the place, I don't mean like it. I don't mean like the album itself is all over the place, but I feel like they better channeled that later on.
yeah.
And but you know, like surfacing, eyeless, spit it out, liberate, all.
Yeah.
So good.
I think the chaotic nature of that first album is what made it special.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
obviously, like I said, I was only a year and a half old, so I wasn't listening to the other music of that time. But like, you can go back,
toddler.
like, just like looking at the music from that era, metal or not, there was nothing like that.
No.
There was absolutely nothing like what Slipknot was doing.
Yeah, it really was the first of its kind. I mean, I remember, you know, the stuff you would see on MTV back in the day. Now, I'm not shitting on any of this because I still listen to Limp Bizkit regularly. I listen to Korn every once in a while. That was it in '99. And then Slipknot came around and just, fucking blew the door off the hinges with this bad boy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming this is true, but Joey was the original drummer, correct? Or was there somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll pull it up. Yes, Joey was.
Because I know Corey came in a little later, but he was in the first album, though. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they had somebody different for Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, or whatever, or Crows, or whatever you wanted. I know they had somebody else in that era when they were still kind of making traction and shit. But for the first album, I just want to point out, and this is probably something I'm gonna speak on, and I'm sure Toby probably will as well, but I just want to take a fucking moment to appreciate the living fuck out of Joey Jordison's drum work.
Yes.
Oh,
There's a reason why these two masks are the only ones that I actually physically own.
The dude was a fucking monster. I mean,
Dude.
Holy shit.
Going back through like all the earlier albums, like Iowa and this one, I was more focused on the drumming than really anything else. And fuck, dude,
It
R.I.P.
hits
R.I.P.
different, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like the technicality of it, plus how like sporadic and sloppy it is at the same time, like, but it's still just, it feels so good to listen to, especially if you're listening to it on like a really good sound system. just engulfing you with those fucking blast beats and the crazy technical fills and shit that he does was just insane, absolutely insane.
I remember when I first started getting into Slipknot, that was one of the things that like I gravitated towards, which is weird for me because I'm a guitar player. I always like pay attention to the guitar in music. I don't really focus on the drums all that much, but when I started listening to Slipknot, that was the thing that caught my attention the most.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have this, like, where you can, like, listen to a song that you listened to when you were younger, something that you thought was really heavy when you were young, something that you thought was really impressive, and then, like, now it's just not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, you look back on it and you're just like, why did I think this was so good?
Most of Guns N' Roses.
Fuck you.
Like, you can still to this day, anytime I hear Joey's drumming on any of those songs, it still impresses the fuck out.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. That's slight towards Guns N' Roses. I still listen to Guns N' Roses, but it's still it's not as like impressive as I put Slash on a pedestal like most kids in middle school my age until I started hearing stuff that was just like, how the fuck did he even do that? Like what even was that noise that he just made? And
just FYI, Guns N' Roses is my favorite band. Thank you.
Look, no hate. I like Guns N' Roses.
Yes, continue.
I like Guns N' Roses. You know, I fuck with them.
I feel like I should clarify this now before we get too deep in. You mentioned that Guns N' Roses is your favorite band. Slipknot is my favorite band. I'm born and raised in Iowa. A metalhead kid born and raised in Iowa. Slipknot, no matter how bad they get, holds a fucking place in my heart. They will always be my favorite band, so I'm going to be biased as fuck for a lot of this.
That's where
that's fair.
That's where I come in, because I'm sure I've got some hot takes that we'll have a little bit later in the episode that's going to destroy everything, so...
He's safe for now.
But look, man, I also grew up like Slipknot is easily one of the first, if not the first, heavy music that I listened to, and I can probably speak for a lot of people my age in saying that, to be honest with you. They are easily like they have a very special place in my heart as well. I wasn't raised in Iowa, but I have lived in Iowa, and all of my family is from Iowa, so like I get it. I understand. I also just have a very weird analytical standpoint on anything that I consume, whether it's movies or music or whatever. So as much as I do love them, I get into some heated debates on stuff that most people just adore. And I personally, I don't get it, but it is what it is. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, he's here to keep it spicy.
Yeah. He's here to piss us off.
Yeah. Toby translated that one perfectly. All right. So, let's move on.
All right.
Iowa.
Yeah. Speaking of Iowa.
Yeah.
Can we all, on the count of three, can we all say what the best Slipknot album of all time is?
No. That's later. Stop it right now.
I was waiting for him to do 1, 2, 3, and then all of us said a different album.
Anyway, let's we'll table that for now. Let's go ahead and just talk about the best Slipknot album of all time real quick.
Dude, we're gonna get into the Gray chapter later. We're gonna talk about Iowa first.
Yeah. Just God fucking damn it, Toby. Spoilers already for God damn it, Toby. All right, anyway, Iowa
Slipknot podcast, you know.
That's
everybody fair. Is different. Like,
we'll see about that.
August 28th, 2001. Iowa was unleashed in the world.
Yes, it was.
Unleashed is a good word for that.
It's also probably the most relevant Iowa has ever been as a state.
Yeah.
That's bad.
At least for music.
This album came out like back in the days of like burning CDs and shit, and your buddy was on Kazaa or Napster. Like LimeWire wasn't around at this point. I know Kazaa was the hot thing, but yeah, I remember my buddy Jamie It had Left Behind, Heretic Anthem, My Plague. There's another one on there, but I'm kind of proud of myself for remembering a burnt CD that came out or that a friend gave me 22 years ago. But all my friends in middle school, god damn, they were obsessed with it. And one thing that makes me jealous still to this day is they got to go to Ozfest 2001, which I don't remember the exact lineup, but all I'm going to say is look it the fuck up, because it is one of the best lineups for any festival ever. Definitely better than this one. I'll say that much.
Oh, God.
We'll talk about that later. But first, Toby, hit me with some Iowa thoughts and stop spoiling shit.
Okay. So you guys mentioned that, Jacob mentioned that Wait and Bleed was the first song he ever heard by Slipknot. My Plague was not the first song that I ever heard by Slipknot. It was the second.
And I know where you heard it.
And you know where I heard it.
Yes, I do.
I know where you heard it, too.
The first Resident Evil movie, during the credits, I remember watching that movie and I was like, sitting through the credits and I'm like, this sounds familiar.
This sounds better than this movie just was.
Jesus! Hey, that's a different episode.
Well, okay, so
spoilers.
Genuinely, the credits on the music that played during the credits on the first Resident Evil movie was better than the fucking movie. Because it was My Plague, and it was the song after that was End of Heartache, wasn't it? By Killswitch Engage? Or was that on the second movie?
Second movie.
Whatever.
Yeah, second movie.
Still bangers.
No, the Resident Evil soundtracks were fucking lit, though. I'll say that much, because I know they had a couple of them.
I want to point out my Captain America-ness just then, because he said My Plague was not the first but the second, and then Derek was like, I know where you heard that, and my not knowing anything about Resident Evil ass was like, hey, I got that reference. before he said anything about Resident Evil, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I know this one.
But no, the first song that I ever heard by Slipknot was Psychosocial. Because Justin, my best friend Justin, had come over and was like, I just heard this new song that just came out. You got to hear it. And he played it for me, and I didn't like it. I was like, this is garbage. I don't like it. Yikes. Get the fuck out of my face. But that was at a point where I was like, the heaviest thing I was listening to was like Megadeth.
Yeah.
So, like, a couple days later at school, I was like, what the fuck was that song you showed me? And then I played it again, and I was like, all right, this is pretty lit.
I had the same thing happen with Linkin Park back in the day, so I know where you're coming from.
Oh, man.
But when I heard My Plague, I was like, holy fuck, I need more of this. And I listened to the Iowa album, and the rest is history.
It changed your
favorite
life.
album of all time.
Changed your life.
Spoilers. Yeah.
The song I Am Hated was like my favorite song for most of middle school.
I Am Hated is so fucking good.
You know, one thing I will say, because at the time, the music I was into, it definitely was not Slipknot. I'll go ahead and say 80s metal was what I was still jamming at that point. So, like, when everybody else was obsessing over this album, I had not gotten it yet. Like, it was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, it's good, but the older I get, the better this album seriously fucking gets. The more I appreciate it, and God, it was fucking great going back through and doing like a fresh re-listen of it, because I forgot so much from this album. Just so good.
I'm pretty sure the Iowa CD has been in my fucking CD player in my car since I got my first car.
Yeah.
It has not come out of my CD player.
No, that's fair. That's it's definitely one of those albums that it stands the test of time. So, and I'm not going to say too much more about it because I don't want to reveal anything.
Yeah, before we go on to the next album, though, I do have a little Iowa story real quick.
Yeah.
Just my introduction to Iowa. which is not even close to any of that whatsoever. So growing up, my parents had this big ass CD case, this huge, like, thick fucking CD binder, basically. And we'd always break it out on long ass road trips to go to Iowa, visiting family and shit like that, right? Because my parents are both from Iowa or Illinois area, you know, roughly that section of the Midwest. And keep in mind, my dad is into like 80s metal, you know, 80s rock kind of stuff. Never anything heavy. Never got into any Slipknot or anything like that. Probably Megadeth and Metallica and stuff. It's probably the heaviest shit that he listens to. My mom, she's into Guns N' Roses and 80s rock, 80s that era of stuff, but also a lot of country. So just keep that in mind going forward, right? So, but my dad is also very, very proud of being from Iowa. He loves the area. He's very nostalgic about it. He's very much an Iowa boy. That's just how it is, okay? Well, one day, I think while he was deployed, I could be wrong about that part, but he seen Iowa, the album, sitting at some CD store, and he figured he'd grab it to check it out because who the fuck is making an album and titling it Iowa? You know, like, that's just not something that really happens all that much. So he got it, not having a single clue what it was about. And he told me that he went ahead and put it in and listened to it, and that, like, immediately the first track, the opening track with all the screaming and like chopped up heavy breathing and shit like that, he was like, yeah, I don't think I made it too much further past that. And then I'm pretty sure what's next, People Equal Shit, he said that just, once that started playing, he's like, yeah, I had to take it out, I couldn't listen to it. But he wasn't going to waste the money, so he just kept it. He wasn't going to throw it away or anything, so he kept it in that big ass album binder. And they always had the little booklets and stuff with them as well. Obviously they threw the case away, but the booklets they kept with each CD. And I remember distinctly being drawn to that fucking goat album artwork and the Iowa title or whatever, and I was like sifting through the pages and shit on long road trips, and I never got it out to listen to it because they would always let me pick the album that we listened to on the way, and they'd let me switch the albums and stuff like that. But any time that I would ask to play that one, they were like, no, we'll pick a different one, I don't want to listen to that right now. Until I got much older, of course, until I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play it myself in my CD player that I had, that I walked around middle school with like a champion. But
so cool.
Yeah, like a legend. But
I absolutely love the mental image of your dad just like picking up this CD and he's like, oh, it's Iowa, and he pops it in, and like immediately, as soon as 515 starts playing, he's just like it's like that fucking, you know that meme of Hank Hill picking up the headphones, just like he's like goes into Bobby's room and he's like, what are you listening to, son? And he like puts it on and he starts freaking out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happened with your dad.
Yeah, probably.
He got halfway through that song's not even a minute long. He got halfway through it and was like, no.
And then you just come out the gates with People Equal Shit. I mean, come on, dude. He got whiplash on that one, dude. Whiplash.
No, I actually didn't know this. Speaking of 515, I just read somewhere like a couple weeks ago that the vocals on that song isn't even Corey. It's Sid, because when they were recording that, his grandfather was sick or something. I could be wrong on the details on this. I saw it in a Facebook post, but his grandfather was sick, and he was trying to finish up recording Iowa so that he could go home and see his grandpa before he passed. Well, he didn't end up making it home before he passed, so he went into the studio and was just like, he went in there alone and just told the guy, start recording, and he just started like having a mental breakdown in the fucking recording booth, and that's the vocals that you hear on 515.
Oh, nice.
I mean, naturally, as you do, why not? Let out all the aggression and shit, and just let it fucking roll, man. Why not get it on recording, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So, Volume 3, The
Volume
Subliminal Verses, came out in May of 2004, and I remember it blew up big that summer going into my junior year. Duality was everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I mean literally fucking everywhere. This album, I got into this album more, and for the longest time, it was my favorite Slipknot album. It felt like it added more depth to the band, you know? Like it wasn't just screaming and all heavy. Like you have Vermilion 2, was it Circle or Welcome?
Circle.
Circle, okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's what I thought. It kind of showed a little, it gave the band more dimension in my eyes. But who couldn't, I mean, if you played Guitar Hero 3, you've heard Before I Forget, but
Yep.
like total banger to play, by the way.
Yeah, it was really fun to play.
And
Before I Forget the first Grammy nomination as well, I believe.
I would say, I thought it was a win, actually.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was their first nomination or their first win.
No, their first nomination was actually Wait and Bleed in 2001. And then, yeah, the first Grammy and only Grammy win was Before I Forget.
Nice.
It's a banger, dude.
Yeah, the video for that song was awesome, too, because, you know, all the masks were, like, off, you know, and it wasn't showing anything, of course, but...
Yeah, but it, like, teased you with it. Like, they teased you with their fucking, like, really close-ups and shit. And all the masks were, like, kind of laying around and shit throughout the video. I always loved that music video. I had it on my iPod. It was one of the many videos that I had on my iPod, but I fucking watched that thing so many goddamn times.
It was a perfect example of the trademark Slipknot mysticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will definitely say Corey's mask from Volume 3 is my favorite Slipknot mask.
Nice.
I love that fucking thing.
We're gonna agree on that one then. It's also my favorite.
Yeah.
I had it written down on my thing, but
yeah. Whoops. Spoilers.
Corey's mask from that album, easily my favorite. I love it.
Yeah.
It's in my top 5 probably. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Corey's just always got some cool ass. Well, not always. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he had some bangers, but
more often than not.
More often than not, yeah. I'll agree with that.
I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I do dig the oh god, now I can't Nightbreed-esque mask that he has now. Because that's totally ripped off from fucking Nightbreed. Clive Barker.
I don't know what Nightbreed is, but I do like his modern mask.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the milk jug.
Oh god, the milk jug. Don't even bring that up.
Fucking horrible.
Yuck.
But yeah, no, this album was really good.
Are you talking about the one with like the two beady eyes? He's got like that's all like white and gray. He's got the two beady eyes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I'm up to date with those.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
I got you. Okay, yeah, I see what I see.
Yeah, you know, Blister exists, freaking Pulse of the Maggots. God, just this album is really good. One thing, and I do remember, I heard this a long time ago, that obviously Rick Rubin produced it, but Corey Taylor fucking hated working with Rick Rubin because like he's never there. So it was basically just the band doing their thing. And there's a quote that I see here that it's from Sean. So the first album was a lot of fun. The second album felt like we were saying, fuck you, we're dying here. And the third album was the healing process. And I like that. Like, yeah. Because, wasn't it true they almost broke up while they were making Iowa? Like, yeah. I thought, okay, all
right. Yeah, but that whole transition, the transition you just mentioned where, like, they were dying and then now they're healing or whatever. Unfortunately, if I remember the clown interview that I watched, that is abruptly taken in a more southern descent, and All Hope Is Gone.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they fucking just were not in a good place during All Hope Is Gone, but
yeah. And we'll get there in a second. Toby, any last thoughts on Volume 3? Or Jacob, any last thoughts?
Nah. This is where I have the controversial opinion. Volume 3 is one of my least favorite Slipknot albums.
Oof. Yikes.
It's not my least favorite, but it's one of my least favorite.
Oh,
and I'll tell you why. Corey's vocals on most of these songs sound like shit.
What?
I don't know. And, like, the live stuff, too, with their live shows during this period, for whatever reason, Corey's screams just don't sound good. Like, it sounds like he's fucking straining his voice.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on that one.
I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong, but you're not right.
there's like, so in the self-titled album, he's got like a really animalistic trait to his voice. That animalistic, like, growliness is turned up to 11 in Iowa, and then it's like it's turned off in Volume 3.
Well,
Like,
shit, he probably fried it from touring. I mean, look at Hetfield after Black Album. Like, they toured that forever, and then,
I'm pretty sure that is true. Like, I'm pretty sure I did hear that somewhere, that he fucked up his voice during Iowa.
Take like any vocalist, especially that early on, without understanding the techniques of screaming and shit, is gonna fuck their vocals up within their first couple albums. Like, take Matt from Trivium, for example. When he was like 16 years old or some shit, when he started in fucking Trivium, and he even said, he's gone on record multiple times saying he had no idea what the fuck he was doing. He didn't have a single clue, any technique, nothing. He was just doing it to make it sound as fucking crazy as it could, you know. And then, of course, it fucked him over in the end. Not that I don't like Matt's vocals now. I love his vocals now. But, like, could you imagine what they would be had he not done that? You know what I mean? And I think that's just a thing that happens with metal vocalists that early in their career anyway. Nowadays, it's probably not so much of a problem because there's just so many things that you can access to understand how vocals work and shit. But, however, I don't know. I fucking love Corey's vocals. His harsh vocals and his cleans on Volume 3, like, a lot. I do agree, though, that earlier on, especially in Iowa, the dude sounds like a fucking lunatic, and I love every second of it. Like, there's no arguing there. But I don't know if go ahead.
All of that being said, like, there's not a Slipknot album that I don't like. There's not a Slipknot song that I don't like.
Yeah, done right.
So when I say that it's one of my least favorite albums,
take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
When I say it's one of my least favorite Slipknot albums, take that out a little bit to, like, just a wider, like, just music in general. It's still one of my favorite albums of all time.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I got you.
No, there's not like a truly terrible or even bad Slipknot album, which thankfully this most recent re-listen to everything helped a lot with a certain album that we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, well, don't. Yeah, all right. Moving on.
Moving on.
I will say one last thing. One last thing on Volume 3 that I didn't mention. My problem with his harsh vocals is balanced out by the inclusion or the more emphasis put on the clean vocals in that album. Because Corey's clean vocals still to this day are incredible.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, I didn't care for his screams on this album, but, like, I do really like what he did with the slower, the softer stuff.
Yeah. Like, definitely in, like, Vermilion Part 2, like,
or Circle, or anything like that. Yeah, he did a banger job.
Both just awesome.
Yeah.
But
banger album.
So, anyways, All Hope Is Gone. August 2008. I remember distinctly working at Hotel Nauvoo, and we would go through rotations where it was like any Breaking Benjamin, and then at the time it was Disturbed, Indestructible, for weeks, months on end. And then Slipknot came out, and I said, thank fucking God. Because I'm not lying. Working there made me fucking hate the Indestructible album by Disturbed, and I cannot listen to it without thinking of being in the dish room Oh, dude, you listen to an album literally 14,000 times.
Oh yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, no.
I had an old coworker of Toby and I's almost ruin one of my favorite bands for me, at the old Walmart that we worked at.
I understood that reference.
Yeah, he almost ruined Kerouac Angren for me, and I literally, I was his boss, so I had to pull him aside and just be like, hey, you need to play something else. Like, I'm abusing my power right now. I don't give a fuck. You have to play something else or I'm going to go insane.
Yeah, because, I mean, it would just be on repeat. Like, it would finish, and it, like, fuck, again? Come on, Danny, shit!
Yeah, he played Death Came Through a Phantom... Death Came Through a Phantom Ship. I heard so many fucking times while we were at that, or when we were unloading the truck at that Walmart, dude. He just played it over and over and over and over again. I'm like, dog, I love it too. I love it. I love the album, but fuck me, you got to put something else on. Come on.
It wasn't even a work thing for me, but "Hail to the King" by Avenged Sevenfold. Like, I like the album. A lot of people don't like the album. I like the album. My mom loved the album. And that's all we fucking listened to for so long.
Come on, Sanjean, what are you doing, man? To play something else, man.
And like, I wanted to be mad because, like, just play something else, you know? But at the same time, my mom was like finally getting into the music that I liked, so I couldn't be mad.
That's fair.
All right, quick note on that. Yeah, half of the album's good. Half of it sucks, and it all sounds very similar to other bands. Case in point, This Means War. Tell me it's not similar to Sad But True. But yes. Oof. So, let's go back to All Hope Is Gone.
I wish you had that same stance on Ghost.
We'll discuss that. You know what? No, you know what? Point. No, give me something. Give me something of This Means War and Sad But True-esque, and if you're right, I will gladly admit you're right. Because there's a difference between going for a style rather than copying it and just changing a couple things.
All right,
anyway.
I'll do some digging.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, show me, and I'll tell you you're right. First song I heard off this album, All Hope Is Gone.
All Hope Is Gone.
I was very excited for, like, I was like, oh, God. This song's a fucking banger.
Wait, which was what song?
All Hope Is Gone.
Okay, all right. I just checked. I think that was most people's first listen to. Honestly, I think it's most people's first listen to even now. Like, it's probably the first song they hear by Slipknot, more than likely.
Hopefully, but it's probably...
All Hope Is Gone is the first song that you think of when you hear Slipknot?
No, Psychosocial, sorry. I was thinking Psychosocial, sorry.
No, I was going to say, what I was saying was this was the first song I heard off of the album because they put it out a little bit beforehand.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know why Psychosocial was like being replaced by what you said, but I said we're on the same page now. Psychosocial, I feel like, is the first song anybody hears from Slipknot even today. Or Duality.
That's definitely fair.
Or Duality.
I'll say that's definitely fair because Psychosocial was big on the radio.
It still is big everywhere.
Yeah. Like, no, it's a good fucking song. I'm not going to say it's not. I don't know.
I love it. I love Psychosocial.
With this album, it just felt off. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. Like, Gematria is awesome. Sulfur, great fucking workout song because I know I worked out a lot.
I had
this on repeat. Psychosocial, All Hope Is Gone. But then the rest of it, like, I'm just going to read through the track list. Vendetta, Butcher's Hook. I'm going to butcher this. Gehenna. Thank you. Butchered it. This Cold Black, Wherein Lies Continue. That all just, like, I don't know. Nothing stands out like anything from the previous 3 albums did. And then, of course, there's Snuff, which I remember people being obsessed with that. And it's like, why don't you go listen to, like, Volume 3 and then tell me if you still love this band? Or listen to Iowa, for that matter. I don't know. This album just... It didn't feel like a complete package like the previous 3 did.
That's fair.
This is where my bias comes in, because like I said, Psychosocial was the first song I heard by them, and it was when this album came out. I actually really like this album.
Good. That's awesome.
I
like
really
this album. Okay. I agree with you when it comes to like Vendetta and Butcher's Hook and Wherein Lies Continue and shit. It's all really weird and kind of bland. But the good songs on this album are really good.
Yeah.
Like, you mentioned it, you fucking pronounced it wrong. I looked this up earlier because I didn't know how to pronounce it, and now I've forgotten how to pronounce it. I think it's Gematria, or something. The Killing Name.
Yeah, let's just call it that because that's easier to pronounce. That song's a fucking banger. I'm not going to say it's not.
The Killing Name is in my top 5 favorite Slipknot songs. I fucking love that.
Top 5?
Top 5.
Damn.
God damn it. Spoilers.
Damn.
Spoilers. And yeah, I had that as an honorable mention. But yeah.
But that song and All Hope Is Gone specifically are literally death metal songs, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
Those songs are my honorable mentions.
Those 2 songs are some of the heaviest songs that they've ever released.
No, I will agree 100% with that. And, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it because, like you said, yeah, some of the shit blends together, but when the shit hits, it fucking hits. But when it misses, at least in my opinion, it misses pretty hard.
So
I feel like that's... I can apply that to like most of Slipknot's music because like I like all of it. There's not really any of it that I just don't like. But when they miss by a fucking mile.
Yes, with a certain song we'll talk about later too.
Okay.
But yeah.
So.
But also, you brought up Snuff. Snuff is really fucking good, and I love it.
I don't hate it, but also at the same time, it's just like,
I like Snuff a lot, but it's definitely not my favorite of their slower songs. Like, if you're gonna put it up against like Circle or Vermilion or like honestly just about any of their slower songs, I'm still gonna take probably most of their other slow songs. And when I say this as well, I'm talking about anything before their last 3 albums. Like, I don't know the like slower songs by name off the top of my head from their more recent albums, but like at least the slower songs from their first half of their records, I'm probably gonna put Snuff at the lower end of that list anyway. But I like it too. However, I am also a little bit biased on All Hope Is Gone because this was the album that was current when I was getting into Slipknot. Like, Iowa was definitely the first album that I heard, and it was definitely the first album that I enjoyed by Slipknot, but I was also at the age where All Hope Is Gone was a thing. Like, it was the new thing that just came out, and I remember listening to it, and I remember loving the shit out of it. Sulfur was a big one. I listened to Sulfur so many fucking times. I think I've told Toby this story, but me and my buddy Trey, we used to sit in his house, like, playing WoW all day, and we had, like, a fucking playlist set up that we would just play in the background while we were playing WoW. And Sulfur and Psychosocial were both in that list. I mean, we played those songs all the time. The music videos are awesome. I loved them.
Those were in my Halo Reach playlist. So yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but whatever. I think
if you say this is like your number 1 album, I'm gonna smack you.
No,
stop spoiling shit.
Shit.
Okay.
No. I haven't revealed any of my favorites just yet. Well, not directly anyway. But Corey's vocals on this album, specifically his vocals, are probably my favorite of Corey's vocals. Like, the dude, I think, hit a peak. I think he hit a fucking peak with All Hope Is Gone. Like, in a way that he has yet to do again. He just has not managed to hit that fucking power level. He has not hit over 9,000 since All Hope Is Gone. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but especially after re-listening to it, we have been listening, well, Derek and I at least have been listening to a lot, and I mean a lot of Slipknot the last couple days. Okay,
Yeah.
I have had all of Slipknot's albums, studio albums, on repeat for the last 4 days. Like, straight up have not listened to a fucking other thing at all. And dude, All Hope Is Gone, and I already loved it. I already loved the album, but it gave me a new appreciation for Corey's vocals in particular on this album, because I was just like, dude, I mean, I'm always gonna geek about Joey's drumming. I'm always gonna geek about the fucking heavy ass riffs and shit, but dude, his vocals just hit fucking different in this album, and I don't know what it is, but they're
I
just
also want to point,
they're big, dude. They're just big. Like, all of it is just fucking massive.
when they were touring for All Hope Is Gone, that was the first time I got to see them live. I believe it was in April of 2009. And I think it was Peoria or Springfield.
That would have been the first time I seen him as well.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Well,
It was a great show. My buddy Casey wound up with a concussion.
Hell yeah.
I'm 97% sure I witnessed a chick die at the concert.
Yikes.
Because, she was crowd surfing right into the pit, and she landed. Don't worry, her neck broke her fall.
Oh, good.
And,
good.
she had to be carted out, like, by paramedics and stuff. I'm still convinced she's dead.
Yikes.
It was a totally bitchin' show, though.
Yeah. The very, very, very first Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival. Very first one that they ever had. That's when I seen them first, and just amazing. I mean, the whole lineup was great, but they headlined, of course, but Disturbed played before them, and I'm pretty sure they were touring for, what was that, Indestructible? No, they had 10,000 Fists.
It would have been Indestructible because it came out in 2008.
Really? I could have swore they had the 10,000 Fist banner behind them though when they played.
Oh, they may have.
Because I'm almost positive seeing like all the people like with their fists and shit up and.
Yeah, because 10,000 Fists came out my senior year, so 2005, and then Indestructible came out that's the summer of 2008, and then All Hope Is Gone came out in, what was it, August of 2008, I think.
Wait, when in 2008?
Just a second. August 26, 2008, All Hope Is Gone came out.
Because I'm pretty sure the first Mayhem Festival was, where I seen it was April 2008, so it might have been still 10,000 Fists.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I think the first Mayhem Festival was 2008. It was either 2008 2009, but I'm pretty sure it was 2008.
Yeah.
But anyway, banger fucking lineup. Mastodon was there, Dragon Force was there, Five Finger Death Punch before anybody knew who the fuck they were. Fucking Under Oath was there, Black Tide was there. I got to meet the drummer of Black Tide for the second time at that show.
And that's back before the lead singer like hit puberty and stuff, so they were still good.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The whole show was fucking sick. But yeah, I remember that was like a pivotal moment in me going home immediately and looking up every fucking thing that I could about Slipknot and Disturbed and all that kind of stuff. I was there for it. But anyway, All Hope Is Gone. Overall, I thought it was a great album. I do agree that the songs that weren't singles didn't quite hit, of course, as well as the singles did, but I don't dislike them, or I don't think as meh of them as you do, but I don't know, dude, they hit so fucking hard, man. God damn.
So everybody,
they're just heavy.
Oh, go ahead, Toby.
Oh, I was just agreeing. All Hope Is Gone it's a great album.
Yeah.
Okay, so your guys' bias already came out. Now mine's about ready to come out.
Oh, no.
October 17th, 2014, The Gray Chapter came out. Now, Toby, for the uninitiated who don't know, what was like a main theme of this album?
It was mostly a tribute to the late Paul Gray.
Yes. Them dealing with the loss of a brother.
Yes.
Now, literally like three and a half weeks later, my sister died.
Oh, yikes.
this album helped a lot through that, because I could definitely feel and agree, like just not feel alone. And I love this album. I really do. It's, I mean, fucking AOV, Sarcastrophe. I mean, even Devil and I is an awesome single. And then Goodbye, Custer, -1, like, and Kill Pop. Kill Pop.
I love Kill Pop, dude. I love Kill Pop.
You guys were talking during All Hope Is Gone. You guys were mentioning that was the first time you guys saw Slipknot. This was the first time I saw them live.
I was actually
the Gray Chapter.
Nice.
It was, yeah. I got to see him touring for this album as well. It was either in January or March of 2015.
I saw them in 2014. It was the first metal show I'd ever been to as well. It was 2014 in Moline, I believe. It was Slipknot, Korn, and King 810.
Nice.
And it was a hell of a fucking show.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah. I can't. I think they were touring with Hatebreed when I saw them, because it was in Bloomington, Illinois, and oh god, so good. We were right up on the fucking gate too.
Oh yeah.
God yeah.
I don't think any bias is necessary for me to agree with you. I fucking love this album like a lot. I don't have anything that attaches it to me specifically, nothing personal or anything like that, but I do remember like distinctly loving this album. I listened to it quite a bit, other than the fact that it came out around the time that I moved to Iowa, so that's kind of a cool thing, I guess. But because it would have been just before I had moved to Iowa that it came out, and I remember listening to the singles when they came out. I actually got in trouble. I got in trouble for listening to I think it was The Devil and I had it on one of my CDs, and I was blasting it. I just fucking had that shit cranked in my van loud as fuck while I was waiting to go into my job, which at the time was Michael's. I worked at Michael's Arts and Crafts. But the catch was, the reason I got in trouble was it was like fucking 3 a.m. because I was on the graveyard shift. And I'm just waiting outside of Michael's in the empty parking lot, blasting The Devil and I, and this fucking cop rolls up, and she's like tapping on my window. It scared the shit out of me, because there wasn't supposed to be anybody there. And she's like, "Hey, I like heavy music too, but we gotta keep it down a little bit, because you got houses like over there and shit." And I'm like, "Oh, let me get my binoculars real quick." "Oh, you mean like a couple miles in that direction? How about you fuck off?" Leave me alone.
That's when you say, fucking excuse you, and then turn it up even louder.
Sorry.
Even if it's on full blast, you find a way to turn it up louder.
I couldn't fucking hear you over the sound of Slipknot pelting my ears with brutality, you stupid bitch. Get out of my face.
He fucking, the cop taps on the window and is like, "Hey, you gotta turn it down." You just look at her and go, "What?" "I can't hear you."
What did he say? Yeah, but no, she fucking had this like weird snide remark about it. I can't remember what the fuck she said, but she made me turn my fucking Slipknot down like an asshole. Big old party pooper. Big old cock block, if you will.
Probably like, "Hey, I like heavy music like Skillet, so you need to just turn that down. That's a little bit too hard."
Oh god,
dude, she's out here wilding, man. I'm like, nah, can you just let me do what I do? Just go away.
Can you fuck off, please?
Real quick sidebar, because you mentioned Skillet. I got a funny story. My supervisor at my new job,
isn't as cool as me. I know.
We were talking about music, because he's also very musically inclined, and he plays a whole bunch of different instruments, and he kind of likes a little bit of everything. And I was talking to him one day about the band Impending Doom, which, if you're not aware, is a very heavy deathcore band, but they're also Christian. They're openly Christian, and they have a lot of Christian themes in their music. And I mentioned that to him, that I brought up the fact that they were a Christian band, and he's like, oh, like Skillet, I got you. And I was like, oh, you sweet, sweet little boy. It was so funny.
Hell yeah.
I was like, no, a little bit heavier than Skillet, but yeah, same lyrical content, I guess.
Hey, let's go out to the terrain, and I'll blow your fucking mind real quick.
Hell yeah.
But no, back to the Gray chapter. When I made my ranking, this was on the lower end of my album ranking. But now that I'm sitting here talking about it, thinking back on it, this album's fucking great. I haven't gone through it. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I'm thinking about the Custer, the Devil and I, the -1, AOB. This is a good ass album.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's, at least for me, there's a forgettable nature to it. I think that's why it was so low on my list.
Just wait till we get a couple more albums in. We'll talk about some forgettable stuff.
We're almost there, but go ahead.
I have one more funny thing about the Gray chapter, specifically a song, a misheard lyrics, if you will. It's just funny. It's funny. I know what the lyrics are, but it's just funny because in my fresh re-listen to it the past couple days, the song Lech or Lech or however you say it or whatever.
Leech?
No, it's just Lech, isn't it?
Yeah, even on Wikipedia it's saying Lech, but yeah, I always thought it was Leech.
Oh,
but
I thought it was Lech. But anyway, hang on, my computer is spazzing.
Yeah, I'll check Spotify, see what it says.
So pronunciation aside, when he is chanting 9 for sure, 9 for sure, 9 for sure really hard, right? From now on, you guys are going to listen to that and you're going to hear nut, fart, shart.
Nut, fart, dart.
Nut, fart, shart. Every single time you hear it now, that's what you're going to hear him chanting because, dude, I tried to block it out of my head once I heard it, but my tiny little adolescent mind was just like, nope, that dude's saying nut, fart, shart every single time. And then he's just saying it so aggressive. I was in my van, delivering packages the other day, and it popped into my head, and I'm like, I'm sitting there delivering this person's package, sitting outside their house giggling to myself because I'm a fucking child. And I kept hearing him scream nut, fart, shart every single time. And now I can't unhear it. Period.
I mean, Corey, as great of a vocalist as he is, he does have some pretty legendary misheard lyrics.
Yeah, he does.
Going back to self-titled for a second, next time you listen to Liberate,
bananas!
The very first lyrics, he's saying, never eat bananas! Dude hates bananas.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I fucking love bananas. Bananas are great.
Hater.
Yeah, same. I love bananas. There was another one in All Hope Is Gone. I'm pretty sure it was in Psychosocial. Actually, there's a couple in Psychosocial, but I can't remember off the top of my head what they were.
Oh,
but
God,
we'll come back to it. But anyway, moving on. I just thought it was funny. I can't stop hearing nut, fart, shart every time I hear that song now.
Okay. So.
Thoughts on the Gray chapter, or are we moving on?
I guess I'll just say, just because of my own personal reasons, yeah, Gray chapter forever holds a place in here. Just because, a tough time. Easily my number one album of 2014. It was not even close that year for it.
I think that's where Slipknot excels, when you're going through a tough time. As cringy and cliche as that sounds, Slipknot is a really, really easy, really good outlet for emotions.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. Could not agree more. But, all right. We Are Not Your Kind.
Oh, boy.
August 2019. I want to point out my first gripe with this damn album. And it's not like I hate the album. If they literally titled the album after a lyric in a song that was released in 2018, like the fall of 2018, Why was All Out Life not included on this fucking album?
It's true.
It makes no goddamn sense to me. Because I remember when they put out the album, I was like, oh, okay, it's fucking in All Out Life, sweet. And then All Out Life is nowhere on the album.
Yikes.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid. But anyways, no, this album, I did like this album a lot. Soulway Firth, I fuck with that song hard. Hold on a second. I want to show something off because guess what I was playing before I hopped on with you guys? Soulway Firth with my new light up LED guitar.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Didn't expect any less.
I'm seriously so fucking proud of that guitar. But anyways, yeah, this is where Corey donned the milk jug mask. So
yeah, yuck.
Yeah, you know
Not the
that.
milk jug.
Yeah, which I don't know. I remember hearing that Tom Savini helped design that, and I really hope that was fucking not true. Because
I think that was his modern, the one that he's wearing now.
oh, I thought like I could have swore, and I could definitely be wrong about this. I heard he had some. I heard he had something to do with this one too. So, I don't know. But yeah, Soulway Firth, Unsainted's fucking good. Birth of the Cruel. I mean, who doesn't get down with Neo Forte?
Yeah, I fuck with Neo Forte quite a bit. And Orphan.
Or Nero Forte, sorry, my bad.
Nero Forte and Orphan were my two standouts on that one. I love the shit out of those songs.
Yeah.
So I mean, Solo Way First is really good too. I honestly, there wasn't really any songs on this album that I disliked. There are definitely some that I like way more than others by like a landslide margin, but there's none that I just couldn't listen to or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I'll just put it this way. I didn't hate any of the songs on this album as much as I hated Corey's Mask.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
This album, do you remember how I said the Gray Chapter had a forgettable quality to it for me?
Yeah. Yes.
This album is the most forgettable Slipknot album. Soulway Firth, Nero Forte, and I don't even remember what the fuck the other song was. You guys mentioned it.
Unsainted?
Birth of the Cruel?
No.
Orphan?
Orphan, that was the one.
I loved Orphan.
Those are the only three songs that I remember off of this album.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's fair, I guess. That's fair.
Again, I don't hate any Slipknot album. This is probably one of my least favorite, though. I don't hate the album. I don't hate the album, but I hate Corey's Mask. I fucking hate the album artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that oh, go ahead.
The album artwork for this album's artwork is so fucking lame. I don't even know what the fuck it's supposed to be, but it's so whack.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
I do remember when this album came out. I like, and once again, I don't hate the album. I was just very I was disappointed with it.
Yeah,
like
I was severely
very
underwhelmed.
underwhelmed. Yeah, especially after like Gray Chapter was so fucking good, and then this.
Well, here's the thing, especially with the Gray Chapter, though, like, when the Gray Chapter came out, there is one thing that I can take away negatively from it, and that's because I could see Slipknot going in the direction that they are going in currently, and not as some kind of fucking mystic or any bullshit like that, but you can just tell, like, I think most people could tell the direction they were heading with the Gray Chapter, and I think the Gray Chapter was where they stuck the landing with it, but where do you go from here? You know, because we could definitely tell they're not going to go back. Okay, by the time the Gray Chapter came out, they weren't going to go back to Iowa. They weren't going to go back to Volume 3. You know, so at this point, it just felt like this is the landing point. It was different. It was cool. I liked the songs on it, but it still felt like Slipknot. But that's where I started to get nervous because I could tell before I even listened to We Are Not Your Kind that I probably was not going to like it as much as I did previous albums. and that's kind of where I stand with it. Like, it was the first album that I had heard in a long time from Slipknot, where I was just like, yeah, this is cool. There's a few cool singles on here, and I like it overall, I guess. But am I gonna listen to this album or any of its singles before I listen to the previous albums? Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think any of them really stick out that much, in my opinion. But
I will definitely say I disagree with one of them, and you'll find out what it is later. Stay tuned.
Okay, I mean that's fair. And again, it, like I said, I don't hate it by any stretch. It's just, it's not what I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more aggression, like they did in All Hope Is Gone, you know, or maybe a little bit more sporadic shit, like they did in the self-titled album or something. But yeah, just it didn't make that mark, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any closing thoughts?
I will say one thing. It's not necessarily about the album, but I guess it's tied to the album. When I bought this album, I bought it at the Iowa State Fair.
Oh.
When Slipknot played the Iowa State Fair. And to anybody that's not from Iowa, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but like, if you're from Iowa, you know that the Iowa State Fair is like,
it's a big deal.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the biggest state fair in the country, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's
lots of butter.
The Iowa State Fair is a big fucking deal, and the fact that Slipknot was able to play at the Iowa State Fair, you could just feel. I know you were there, Jacob, but you didn't go to the show, right?
No, I didn't go. I didn't go.
I had to work.
Shit. Yeah.
Okay, well, it was one of the most special concert-going experiences I've ever had. You could just feel it. You could feel it from every single member of that band that, like, this was a big fucking deal for them. And it was just super cool.
Also, if you go back, anybody that's not familiar, if you go back and look at any of the previous headlining bands from any of the Iowa State Fairs, I'm pretty sure you're not going to find anything like Slipknot in any regard whatsoever.
Yeah.
Soft rock, some 80s rock maybe, but that's about it.
I believe the Iowa State Fair does actually include metal bands now. Like, I know Five Finger Death Punch played a couple of years ago, but I think Slipknot was the first metal band to play at the Iowa State Fair. And I could be wrong, but I believe they also pulled the biggest crowd in the grandstand history of the Iowa State Fair.
I could believe it, honestly.
Even if you're wrong, I'm not going to argue it. You're fucking right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if it wasn't the biggest crowd, it was one of the biggest crowds that the Iowa State Fair's ever had.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was, to be honest. It would not surprise me at all.
It was really cool. I'm really glad I went to the show.
I've got to ask, should we talk about Knotfest, considering it was before the end so far, or do we want to get the end so far out of the way and then talk about
No,
Knotfest?
Let's just fucking rip the goddamn Band-Aid off. We're going to talk about the fucking end so far. Fuck. Okay. Jesus Christ. I knew this day would come.
Yeah. The end so far, September 30th.
Real quick, if you want to see Jacob and I's live reaction to this, there's a video of it up on Cosmic Pizza at YouTube.
Still plugging the channel, and we've been dead for like a year.
We did we did a live listening to the entire album, didn't we?
Yep, the whole
album. We did the whole album?
Yep.
It's like an hour-long video, but we did the whole album. And
I did chop it up a little bit. I chopped it up very little, but for the most part, it is the whole album. Like, at least it is a good chunk of each song, but it is our live reaction to the album as a whole, yes. But it is up on Cosmic Pizza. As a matter of fact, I could probably just put a link to it in this video if anybody's interested. It's a Slipknot video, so yeah, go ahead and check out the description and if you want to check that out. But I will be completely honest, though, if anybody does end up watching that video, my reaction then was a lot nicer than it is now.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's not saying much.
I think we were both trying to find the positive in that video.
I was trying to be as critical as I could be without completely shitting on everything, but listening to it again and again and again, especially these last couple days, I'm gonna be real with you. It didn't hit. It didn't hit at all.
I don't think I have listened to that album since we did that video.
See, remember, I want to point out the whole thing that Toby said earlier about the last album being the most forgettable, and I will agree with that. But it's only because there's no way you can forget this album because it was that bad.
I'm not going to say it was completely trash, but also at the same time, Chapeltown Rag was awful. Awful. I've been referencing it throughout this whole thing. Because if there is a Slipknot song I hate, it's Chapeltown Rag. It does not fucking do it for me at all. But on the other side of things, like Yen, and Toby, I remember telling you this way back in the day, a year ago. I love that fucking song. Yen is awesome to me. The rest of it, it's better. Like, I remember I hated this fucking album last year, but now I don't like completely hate it as much as it sounds like Jacob does. So I'm Jacob, take it away. I'm curious.
Dude, hang on. Let me pull up the fucking track list because I did my goddamn best. I did my best, dude. I listened to this album like at least 6 more times in the past 4 days because I was trying everything I possibly could to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there was something that I just wasn't hearing the first couple times, and I tried again, and hang on, let me...
Basically, all I'm hearing is this album to you is like RoboCop Rogue City to me. You kept giving it chances, and it kept just being a dirty slut bitch.
Yeah, and even then, okay. I would still take a dirty slut bitch over this album any day of the week. So there's just that, okay? Because what the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Chapeltown Rag, the single they released first off of the album. I'm pretty sure, right? They released Chapeltown Rag first.
Yeah, they released that like almost a year before the album came out. Kind of like an All Out Life thing, except way worse than All Out Life.
Yeah, and I think Toby was there when I first heard this song. I'm pretty sure we were chilling in the living room, and this came on, or we found out that this song was out. I think we actually waited till we got off of work so we could listen to it on the soundbar, like with better, sound and shit. So we went home, we popped this bitch on. And I think, if I remember correctly, my initial reaction was, what the fuck was that? I'm pretty sure, and Toby, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was like, I don't think I like that. I don't think I liked it at all. And
I don't think either one of us were jiving with it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good start. It was not a positive start to the album that inevitably would be... I'm not going to reveal anything yet, but anyway, so I will say this. The song Yen, the song Medicine for the Dead, and the song Hell, or H377, whatever you want to call it. Those 3 songs, I will say, I did enjoy those 3 way more than I did originally. And then I think, if I remember correctly, on the album playthrough, that reaction that we did, the video that I'm going to link in the description, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I'm pretty sure I said that I liked Warranty, I liked Heirloom, and I liked fucking Hive Mind or something, maybe? There was like 3 of them that I said I liked in the initial listen. Can't stand them. Didn't like them. I listened to them again and it made it worse. I don't know how that happened, but I was just like, what the fuck? I could not put any of these into a list of positivity if I tried. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Other than the fact that, like I said, Medicine for the Dead, Yen, and Hell were like roughly the standouts in my opinion. And it was only because they were kind of catchy, but like, past that, Don't got that. Corey was not on his A game. Okay, he just wasn't. Drums were all right. The riffs were fun, but they weren't anywhere near what we've seen Slipknot do in the past by any stretch whatsoever. And I'm just like, I'm all for bands changing their sound a little bit, changing genres if they have to or whatever. Just exploring the ideas of other stuff. Like Bring Me the Horizon.
Expanding.
Bring Me the Horizon's a perfect example because I know they have gone from like fucking straight up deathcore to whatever the fuck they're doing now, and everybody seems to like it. Okay, if you're a Bring Me the Horizon fan, most of the time a Bring Me the Horizon fan is going to be pretty cool with any era of Bring Me the Horizon. You know what I mean? And I know not everybody likes Bring Me the Horizon, but I'm saying just for the fans of that band, they kind of like it regardless, right? Same with like Pierce the Veil. Pierce the Veil's kind of switched up genres a little bit, and people seem to dig it. Okay, fair. That's fair.
Avenged would be a good example too, because like sounding the seventh trumpet, waking the fallen, and then the city of evil, and
yeah. And
life is but a dream now.
And regardless of what you think of Avenged Sevenfold, I've got some heavy opinions on their newest album as well, but a lot of people still dig it, But here's the thing, and you're gonna see this be brought up again probably later in the video, as well as the title of this video, Slipknot, band to brand. And I'm pretty sure that is exactly what happened with this album, is they just went straight up branding with this, and we're trying to make it the most left field fuck off album that you could possibly do. However, when you take a band such as Slipknot that has already built a brand beforehand of this just powerhouse of metal music as we know it today, the fans are expecting that. Like that is the expectation. That is the level of expectation that we have grown to know and love. That's what we want in a Slipknot album, okay? It's okay to change things up. They did it with the Grey Chapter, and I loved the Grey Chapter. They did it with fucking We're Not Your Kind, and it was pretty well received, I'm pretty sure. But what the fuck was this? What the fuck? What even happened here? Who sat down in the board meeting and was like, hey, we should definitely release this song Adderall. That's just fucking awesome. I think it's great. No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. No.
And they even put out an EP too recently with Adderall. Like it's called Adderall.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't know why the fuck they would do that, but they did it. I don't fucking know, dude. Anyway, that's my little mini rant. That's pretty much where I had to go with that. I tried. I did my best. I listened to it way more than I wanted to. I gave it as honest of a try as I could, and just wasn't it.
Toby.
I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on this album. It's my least favorite.
Fucking spoilers, dude.
Derek, he's not good at this ranking thing, is he?
My thoughts on this video or this album are summed up pretty well in the live listening video that we did. Like, we got all the way through it, and I was like, I mean, there was a couple songs that were like, all right, but this is not, like Jacob put it pretty well. Like, the fans have an expectation, and this did not meet the expectation.
No,
I'm pretty sure even the band didn't like this album. I feel like I read that somewhere that, like, I think Clown said that, I could be wrong, I could be talking out of my ass here, but I'm pretty sure Clown said that he didn't want to put this album out.
I don't know why any of them would have wanted to put this out. And speaking of Clown, by the way, Clown also, I'm pretty sure, said the same shit about All Hope Is Gone. He said that All Hope Is Gone was not something that he felt proud of. He said that he did not like it because it was like, it was radio accessible and shit, and that's just not what they were about, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. All Hope Is Gone was fucking insane. And I also don't think that I like bands pushing themselves to the point where they don't enjoy what they're doing, of course, but, like, dude, you guys are probably the most successful heavy metal band that we know of today. Like, you guys have the option to say no. All right? Even your record label is not gonna, like, they're not gonna peg you because you just like, nah, this was not what we wanted to put out. Let's just go ahead. Let's remake a different song. Okay, let's put a different song in place of Adderall, or a different song in place of fucking Acidic or whatever. I don't really like Hive Mind all that much. Let's put in something that sounds a little bit more like Slipknot, and then we'll retake and release it then. But
isn't this the first album? Aren't they? They're independent now, aren't they? They're not even on a record label.
This was the last album for Roadrunner.
Oh, I thought it was the first one off of Roadrunner.
Well, if it's the last album on Roadrunner and the next one they put out will be independent, maybe it will be better. But
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about the current events and the direction Slipknot's been going in a little bit. But fuck me, dude. I don't know.
I like how me and you switched spots, because last year, I'm not even joking, I hated this album. I did not like it at all, except for like Yen.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't even hate it originally, though. I was just confused. I was confused as fuck. I didn't know what the fuck I just listened to. But as I listened to it more, I was like, oh wait, no, that is hate. That's not confusion at all. This is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, no, I'm not confused. Like it felt better. Obviously, if you completely hate something and then you listen to it and it goes up a little bit and hits a little bit different.
Yeah.
This album still isn't like great.
This album was like basically, when your stomach's really upset, like to the point where it is like it hurts, like it's got that sharp pain in it. You're like, man, if I could just let out that fucking gnarly ass cheek clapper fart, it would feel so much better, right? And then you fart and it's just like a little psst. That's all it was, and you're like, oh, well, that's all I get? I don't even feel better. I don't even feel better. I farted, but I still feel like shit. That's what this
to me, it sounds like this album was you shitting your pants. Like,
oh, yeah, that's fair. You're expecting a fart, and you release it.
Not ripping a gnarly chainsaw fart that scratches your ass for you or anything like that. No, you straight up shit juice.
You end up you end up nut fart shart into your pants, and it changes the color of them entirely. I knew we were gonna bring that full circle. I knew we were going to.
It was coming back.
Yeah, no.
All right. So let's just move on and talk about something.
Please.
Something a little more sad and depressing.
Ah, fuck. Line Fest.
Not Fest. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Line Fest. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, who's starting with this one?
Okay, so do you want to start on a good note, or do you want to end on a bad note? Because
I'll start on a good note and say that all the bands that played that we saw were good.
Okay.
Except Suicide Boys. But,
damn.
Like Trivium was awesome. Lamb of God was awesome.
You already know your boys. Awesome. You know your boys in Trivium are always going to be awesome, though. Come on, let's just be real.
so fucking good. Like, all the bands there were seriously great. And yeah, I don't like Suicide Boys because I had really never listened to them beforehand. So don't take that as not my thing. Every band there was good. Everything else was fucking it was bullshit. It sucked. Like, I've never been to a show or a festival, and I've been to plenty of them that, fuck, this thing was like, maybe they had the staffing for fucking 5,000 to 10,000 people, not 35,000 people.
Yeah.
And the venue being on a fucking hill, like, God damn, dude.
Also,
it wasn't even a venue. It was literally a field in the middle of, what was it, Indianola, Iowa?
It was barely a field. It was a patch of dirt.
Yeah, it was a patch of fucking dirt that I thought was like a hot air fucking balloon landing area.
It is.
But how are you fucking landing a balloon on a fucking hill?
It was a hot air balloon, like, staging area or something like that.
Well, it's bullshit.
There was a point where I was going to get in the mosh pit, but I chose not to because the mosh pit was kicking up so much dirt that it was hard to breathe.
Which one? There was like fucking 3 mosh pits every fucking 20 people.
Yeah, no, the Trivium one I was in, I can definitely verify. Yeah, dirt, dirt
Yeah.
storm. That's
So
all it was.
so I do have something to say about the mosh pits, though. There was one moment in particular where I don't know if it was a feeling of euphoria or if it was just
Dehydration.
exhaustion or what it was. But I was already a couple beers in. Okay, I was a couple beers in, and Gojira was playing, and
Yeah.
there was a mosh pit that opened just a few people away from us. It was going pretty good, and I remember it was bright and sunny. Sun was just pouring into the fucking crowd of people and shit. It wasn't dark yet, and just the fucking Gojira riffs were just pelting my every being. Keep in mind, Toby and I and our little group, we were pretty close. I mean, we were fairly close to the stage. We had weaved through a fuck ton of people to get to where we were. And, dude, I just, like, sat back for a bit, and I was looking up at the fucking sky, and there was just, like, this weird mist of dirt with like, all these people just pulsating around me and shit, and Gojira was playing. It was like it was a weird happiness that I felt because I was also slightly drunk, but also I was at Knotfest finally, and also I wasn't in a line for once the whole day.
Oh my fucking god.
And it just felt cool. It was a cool feeling. I don't know if it was a good feeling. I don't know if it was a bad feeling, but it was just a weird, like I'm in a limbo kind of shit. You know what I mean? But
Fuck it. Just.
But
I do not look back on that as a fine as like a fond experience. Like because of Knotfest, I will not go to any festivals ever again.
ooh,
Like it fucking killed them for me. Because I'm sorry, waiting in line for merch for over an hour. Fuck, waiting in line for an hour and a half to get in, and then the line started way down a fucking gravel road, and then went fucking down another one. And waiting in line for 45 minutes during Megadeth playing for water, then to get to like the 8th or ninth person from the front. Oh, we're completely out of water. It fucking horrible experience.
okay. So I have a story about the lines getting in actually that I found out after the fact, months, actually over a year after the fact when I started working at Scott's.
If you tell me we could have skipped the lines, I'm gonna fucking smack you.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about anything that I'm about to say. I had no fucking idea because Toby and I were in that same line. We missed the first three bands. We got in halfway through Tech Nine's set, and we only got to see like the last three songs he played because we were stuck in the beer line once we got in there. Because by the time we got in there, we were fucking parched and dying of a heat exhaustion. So I was like, dude, I need a fucking drink.
I was in the merch line for Tech Nine the whole fucking show.
We got to the crowd in like the last three songs of Tech Nine after standing in fucking line forever. But anyway, my point is, Toby and I were standing in that line, missed the first three bands. We were just as heated. We were pissed. Okay. Well, anyway, over a year later, I start working at Scott's, and I meet this guy Johnny. Johnny, if you're watching this, shout out, buddy. Miss you. He was telling me that he was also at Knotfest. And he said that the reason a lot of the line was not moving was because people were bunched up and crowded at the gates. They weren't actually going in. They were just standing there bullshitting. So he eventually was like, hey, are you guys in line? And they're like, oh, no, we're waiting for some friends or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And he told his buddies, who then eventually just went around them, and it was just like flooding into the gate after that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Awful.
Because why are you not directing people? What are you doing? Because he was even confused as to why the fuck people were like standing there doing nothing. He was like, fuck it, let's just go then. Because the gates were empty. There was not people going through them at a high velocity, so he was just confused. He thought that they were like waiting to get in for whatever reason, but then he's seen a couple people enter, and he was like, oh wait, maybe these people aren't in line. And he just went around them, so him and his buddies were just like, fuck it, let's go. And they went around him.
That's got the same energy as, like, the fucking bitches that go to Walmart and they, like, see their neighbor or some shit. Like, hey, Bill, I haven't seen you in fucking 3 months. Let's stand in everybody's way right in the middle of the aisle.
Or, like, at the register or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, Well, and also, I just want to point out because we haven't really. Well, I mean, we've basically said it. All three of us were at the same show, and because the cell phone reception was ass.
What cell phone
we
reception?
actually, yeah, exactly. Well, no, I would get your messages about 2 hours after you fucking sent them,
Dude,
because then I'd walk through a random spot and be like, oh fuck, okay, oh, I lost service.
Yuck.
We never even saw each other at this fucking show.
Yeah, so just for some context, me and Toby, we were with. Well, I think it was just Toby and I. Who did we come with? We came with somebody else, didn't we? Or it was just me and you?
It was just us.
Okay, so me and Toby, we were in our group.
Chelsea
and then
came with.
we were trying to meet up with two other groups, basically, is what I'm getting at. Like, Toby and I were in our own little pocket. We had Derek and Dallas were in their group, and then Allie, Chelsea, and Alicia were in their thing or whatever with Alicia's dad. And we were all trying to get together at some point, and we eventually found Toby's sister and her boyfriend and Toby's buddy Justin and his mom and all that shit. We found them pretty quickly with the last bit of Tech 9, and we were just chilling with them for a little bit. But I was like, dude, we got to move up, because if I'm not as close as I could possibly be to Matt when Trivium comes on, I failed as a human being. So we've got to go. We got to get the fuck up there. So we went up there, wove through the fucking crowd. We got as far as we could with me, Toby, Cassidy, Jamie, and that was it. And then we were starting to text Derek, and we were starting to text Chelsea and Allie and them, and we could not get anything to go through for anybody. Nobody's phones were working, and we were just trying to be where we could most ideally be for the music, but also in a spot that we could still be seen from our groups and shit if they so happen to happen. So yeah, we were all at the same show, but all three of our groups had completely different experiences. And even at one point, even Toby and I had a completely different experience once Slipknot came on, because at that point we had found Chelsea and Alicia's dad right before Suicide Boys came on by some some miracle
I met up
chance.
with Allie.
Yeah,
I found Allie, and
we found Chelsea and her and Alicia's dad. We didn't find the rest of them because I guess they ditched them or something like that. I don't know. They were everyone was everywhere. Okay, and there's 30,000 people you're wading through, right? So then Chelsea was in our group with Alicia's dad. So we had a little bit bigger of our group, but not quite the whole group, right? Then Suicide Boys came on, and we were still in our little pocket group or whatever. But then Cassidy and Jamie dipped out to go get water. And shout out Jamie and Cassidy, you guys are fucking real ones, by the way. They came back with like 6 bottles of water or some bullshit like that, and they managed to find us again, which is even more incredible.
Yeah. Needle in a haystack.
Yeah, so that happened, and the second Slipknot started, this wave of dudes pushed forward, like just massive wave of people pushed forward. Me, Chelsea, and Alicia's dad got separated from Toby, Jamie, and Cassidy in a just complete separate bullshit. So now me, Chelsea, and Alicia's dad are closer to the stage, and I don't know where the fuck Toby and Cassidy and them are. They're fucking left field somewhere, out of nowhere. Dude, we almost got crowd crushed a couple times. Like, we were getting swelled like really hard, pushed against each other. It was rough, but I mean, I had a good time regardless during the bands, because I agree, every band put on a good show, even Suicide Boys, because I am also a Suicide Boys fan. But dude, I'm pretty sure I lost my voice to Trivium, but I made sure to be able to sing as much as I could to Suicide Boys and Slipknot when they came on too, but and Lamb of God and stuff, of course.
Oh,
but,
God, yeah. So good.
I know this is a Slipknot podcast episode, but my favorite moment of Knotfest happened during Suicide Boys.
Oh.
Because Suicide Boys went on right before Megadeth. And I'm sorry.
No, they went on after Megadeth.
Yeah, they went on after Megadeth.
Yeah, that was I heard a bunch of people in the crowd like complaining about it too. They were pissed.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure they were complaining because
Suicide Boys was there. Yeah, I know, but they were also complaining.
Who went on after Megadeth? Who went on after Suicide Boys then?
Slipknot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you drunk?
No.
I don't know, but there was a dude standing right next to me during Suicide Boys, and there was a whole bunch of fucking people that were all just like being really spiteful and like, you don't belong here, boo, fuck this music, this is trash, and whatnot, you know.
Which also, by the way, regardless of your opinion on an artist, never do that at a show. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's just poor taste. But...
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't like them, but still, I wasn't. You know, they were there. Like, I wasn't like, oh, get off the stage.
Yeah, that's just poor sportsmanship, guys. Don't do that.
Yeah, total bullshit.
Okay, I'm saying this as a Megadeth fan. Megadeth fans fucking suck.
Yeah, they do. The fans of Megadeth are terrible.
However,
especially Derek.
Fuck you both.
Anyway, no, there was this guy standing right next to me during Suicide Boys. He was so obviously there for Megadeth.
Yeah.
He was like probably late 50s. He was about this tall.
I thought he was 7 foot tall. Got it. Yes.
He was round.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
He was bald. He had a beard like Jacob's.
Yep.
He wasn't wearing a shirt, but he was wearing bib overalls.
Yep.
And he had his hands tucked into his overalls. He was standing there. He was standing there next to me the whole time, just like this.
Yep.
Just watching, not bobbing his head, nothing. Just standing there like this. They went all the way through Suicide Boys' set. He didn't move a fucking muscle. He was standing there just like that the whole time. And at the very end, when everybody was booing and yelling and bitching and complaining, this dude looked over at me, stoned as fuck. You could see it in his eyes.
He had a joint.
And
he had a joint after that.
He looks over at me, still with his hands in his bibs, and he goes, "Nice."
Yeah. I know a guy you're talking about. He pulled a joint out of his pocket like right after that, and he was just like lit up while he was waiting for Slipknot to come on. Just
don't lie. He pulled it from the inside of his fucking overalls. Probably out of his belly. Yeah, just fucking. I saved this for later.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say his prison pocket, but
no, I was going belly button first, but then Toby said.
But no, that was just a really wholesome moment because I knew, like, I was watching that guy. I kept looking over at him the whole time, and I was like, this guy's going to say some stupid like, he looked like a fucking bigot.
Yeah.
He looked like an asshole.
This is why we never judge books by their covers, guys.
He was just standing there judging the whole time. Like, I was like, he's going to say some bullshit after this. He's going to say some really stupid shit. And then he just looks over with a little smirk and he goes, "Nice."
Yeah. Dude was fucking wholesome as shit.
Yeah. No, I'm going to touch on one more horror because I don't think you guys had this problem, but me and Dallas definitely did. We literally listened to And Justice for All almost twice. The whole album. Twice. Getting out of the fucking parking.
Oh, Toby disappeared. Oh, there he is.
Hang on a second. I fucked up.
Don't do that.
Keep talking. I'll get it back.
But yeah,
you're back.
There was no like security or people like directing traffic, so it was literally fucking Thunderdome getting out of there.
No.
And we even left, like we left probably, I think it was just over halfway through Slipknot's set. I remember hearing I think All Out Life as we were walking away. And I was like, okay, cool, at least we got to hear that. But then, yeah, where we were parked, it was just a fucking nightmare.
No,
and Dallas, I'm not even joking, Dallas had to stay this fucking close to somebody's hands just so people would stop fucking cutting us off. Dude. It was stressful. It sucked.
No, I've got a story about leaving Knotfest. Toby can vouch for this one. So,
you mean when we lost our car for like 2 hours?
When we lost ourselves for like 2 hours. Dude, I was coming down from being drunk as shit, also being completely crushed by Slipknot, also completely losing my voice, also trying to make sure Chelsea didn't die, because this was also her first show she ever went to, and she was also completely fucking toasted, done.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it was great. I loved it, but I was exhausted. When I say I have never been so exhausted in my life, I mean it. I'm not talking any of the 4,000 piece trucks I've had to throw. I'm not talking about any of the bullshit I've ever had to do retail wise or stocking shelves or heavy lifting or whatever. This was probably the most exhausted I have ever been in my entire life. I was done. My back was fucked up. My hip was fucked up. My knees were gone. My ankles felt like they had just like crumbled under the weight of 1,000 mountains or some shit. It was bullshit. Toby and I are on our way back out to the car. The whole time we're on our way, and we stayed the whole set. We stayed the whole Slipknot set. Everybody, man, Linefest was fucking whack. Man, Linefest this, Linefest that. You know, like, everyone was just, like, bitching and griping and shit. But then there was also those people, like, just having a good time for the sake of having a good time, you know. But anyway, we get out to the parking lot. It's dark as fuck. I don't even know my name at this point. That's how fucking exhausted I am. Don't have a single fucking clue where we parked. Not a single fucking clue. And we were driving my sister's bright blue Nissan Sentra. Like, there's no reason we should have lost it, okay? But we could not find it. We were walking around this fucking field for like a good hour and a half probably looking for this car. We went all the way up, all the way down, all the way back, all the way left, all the way right, up, down, left, whatever. Like, the only place we didn't check was under the soil, okay? Like, we checked everywhere. Could not find it until eventually we fucking tried to retrace our step for the fucking billionth time. And
I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick because I drink way too much while we're doing podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back. Keep talking. Keep talking.
So we finally get to the fucking car, and we get in there, and then we experienced what Derek went through and couldn't get out of the fucking venue. So we are just like slowly inching our way towards the end. But now we're fucking starving because the lines and shit were so goddamn ridiculous. We weren't about to lose our spots in the show. So we're like, fuck it, we just need to find something after the show on the way home. And we had, Toby and I had a 3-hour drive back home, pretty much, which was also rough as fuck. Even more so for Toby.
That was the most agonizing 3-hour drive I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, and we tried place after place after place. Everywhere was packed or out of food. Like, all the gas stations were wiped clean. All the fucking places that we could find, like drive-thrus and shit, were either closed or completely packed until eventually we settled on a fucking McDonald's. And let me tell you, bro, that McDonald's tasted like golden syrup dripping from an angel's teat.
After we got it.
After we finally got it.
Let's not forget that we drove like 20 minutes to get to this McDonald's because we thought everything in the surrounding area would be packed. We finally found a McDonald's that wasn't lined all the way up the fucking parking lot, and we still sat in that fucking drive-thru for like an hour.
No. That's because it was. The line was long as fuck. The line was long as fuck. It wasn't nearly as long as some of the other ones were, but it was still long as fuck. And dude, I feel so bad for those McDonald's employees, I'm not gonna lie, because they had a rough time, I'm sure. But dude, that McDonald's was the best thing that I've ever eaten in my entire life. It felt so good to eat McDonald's.
Toby disappeared.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Okay.
It felt like I was eating my first meal that I've ever had in my life for the first time ever again. I was a new man. I was changed. It was so fucking good. And then we had the 3-hour drive home.
I also forgot one thing that I thought was funny. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys both this before, but so Dallas, I can't remember where Dallas was at this point, but it was just basically me and Allie standing back.
I'm sorry.
And so as I, that's all you.
So go ahead.
No, as I previously mentioned, I could not find you two, like, at all. And it sounds like if we were going to find each other, it was going to be during Trivium, because I was very, very close for Trivium.
Yeah.
But a former friend of mine, who I went my 2 previous trips to see Slipknot, he was with me for those. And now we hate each other. So much so that, like, if he were to ever approach me, I would break his jaw and not even think twice about it.
That's fair.
Guess who I fucking saw at that goddamn festival, but yet I couldn't find the two people that I was fucking looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was fucking pissed.
Trust
I was
me.
like, oh, hey, there's so-and-so. And I'm like, you bitch, you fucking serious? God damn.
Dude, trust me, it
Fucking sucked.
wasn't for a lack of trying. Dude, it was damn near impossible to find anything.
Oh yeah, no, obviously I'm not blaming anybody because
Yeah.
by the time you don't have cell phone service, there's like 30 to 35,000 people in a venue where I swear to God there should have only been 10.
Yeah.
Nothing went right that day.
I
Dallas damn near broke his back during Lamb of God, which I still find funny, but sorry, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, you had it coming. You should have known. You should have known it was going to happen.
Yeah, because he just got straight up fucking wrestling flipped on his and just boom, flat on his back, glasses shot off of his face, everything.
I will say my merch experience was different than yours though. I managed to slip out, and I have the advantage of being really small. So I slipped out. Who played after Trivium? Lamb of God, right?
It may have been Lamb of God or Gojira, one or the other.
One of those two. Right before they came on, like during the intermission, I bobbed and weaved my little ass back out of the crowd, like minutes before they were supposed to come on. So I kind of figured that they were going to be not at the merch booth. They were not going to be at the bathrooms and stuff. They were probably going to be back in the crowd by that point. So I was like, fuck it, let me go. Let's take my fucking moment here. And I initially was just going to use the bathroom because I had to piss like hell. To my surprise, there wasn't a bunch of lines at the bathroom. So I was like, fuck it. I went to the bathroom. I got out, and there was a merch booth, that big-ass merch table right outside where the porta potties and shit were. Barely anybody there. Barely anybody there. There's like 5 or 6 people in each one of the lines. So I was like, bro, what the fuck? I might miss a song or two, but I'm going to go ahead and jump in this shit really quick before this is going to be either A, sold out, or B, impossible to fucking get into next time. So I stood there and I grabbed me a fucking Knotfest tour shirt and a Trivium in the Court of the Dragon shirt, stuffed one of them in my fucking belt, and then I put one of them on and I bobbed myself back into the fucking crowd, managed to see Toby's tall ass in the fucking crowd. And actually, I had the advantage of seeing 3 tall people because him, his sister, and Jamie are all really tall. So I was like, oh, shit, boom, there they are.
Yeah, like the whole time, like during Trivium, I remember specifically like, yeah, where's that tall-ass curly-headed fuck? Nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the merch lines, I also got super lucky because I snuck away during Gojira, I think.
Fuck you both.
I literally didn't stand in line. I walked right up to the booth and bought my shit and walked away. There was no looking.
Cut his camera feed right now.
You said there was like 5 or 6 people in each line at the merch booth. There was like 5 or 6 people there when I went up. Like, there was an open, there was a lady that wasn't doing anything. I walked right up to her and I was like, I want that one. And she's like, all right, here you go.
Money.
$40 or whatever ridiculous ass price it was for a t-shirt, and I walked away.
Yeah.
Okay, so my closing thoughts on Knotfest. Ass.
It was rough.
Great bands, ass everything else.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. All the bands that played, everybody I thought just fucking brought it. They brought the heat, and I loved it. But whoever planned that show, whoever planned the festival, they deserve to be fired, and they also deserve to have their company shut down for the rest of existence. That was awful.
I want Pat McAfee to just football punt this whoever planned that right in the nuts.
I'm just glad that it wasn't. I'm just glad it wasn't anything like Blue Ridge or something like that, or some of the other festivals that have come out since that were just like bad to the point where people were like starving and like getting killed and trampled, and like the bad weather and shit fucked everything up. And
the only food I had the whole time was I stole a piece of Allie's pizza. That's it.
Okay, yeah, but dude, Blue Ridge was rough.
I don't think it was the whole time I was there.
Yeah, see?
I ate before we went in, and I ate that McDonald's when we came out.
Yeah, we stopped at like fucking Chick-fil-A or some shit before we went in.
Chick-fil-A is my staple. Every time before a show, if I can manage to grab a Chick-fil-A, I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Protein.
All right. So, Knotfest went on a little bit long.
Yeah,
Let's talk about current.
I said we need to probably wrap this up soon because my phone is fucking done.
Ooh.
All right. So let's breeze through current events. We'll make this short and sweet. Jay Weinberg fired. I fucking hate that move.
Yeah.
I despise it.
Not good.
Did you see why?
Yeah. What?
I don't know what. I don't know if this was their actual reason. They didn't say, but
The surgery?
he got a surgery on his hip, I think.
Well, so he previously stated that like it was already planned that this was going to happen, but yeah, the timing of everything, just like the Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega stuff with Scream 7, it's too fucking fishy. It don't no. The universe don't work perfectly like that.
Yeah.
That being said, like I've been a big fan of Jay's dad, Max Weinberg, when he was on Conan, even like him playing an E Street Band with Bruce Springsteen. So when I heard it was Max's son, taking over for Joey back in the day, I was like, fuck yeah. And you even listen to him. He was literally born into, like Joey's drumming is what got him going. Like he was perfectly fit to replace Joey. And
as
now,
perfect as you could be, anyway.
Yeah,
I
mean, you're not going to be a 10 out of 10, but if he's a 9.5, fuck yeah, you go with it.
Yeah, and I love that dude. I loved everything he did in Slipknot. I mean, he did a very good job while he was in the band.
Yeah, 100%.
Very, very good job.
So,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did the same thing with Joey when they kicked him out because he had something wrong. He had some degenerative disease that was affecting his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in his spine or some shit, but it caused him to be able to not play those like crazy shows and shit anymore or something like that.
I get it from like a business standpoint. Like if you can't play the drums, you obviously can't be the drummer of a fucking metal band.
Especially
but, like,
not Slipknot.
The way that they went about it, both times.
Fishy.
Like they fired Jay over a phone call, from what I understand. They literally called him and was like, "Hey, you're out."
And you want to know one thing that, like, I know I told Jacob, normally, and I'm going to use Mike Mangini's, like, departure statement from Dream Theater, he thanked the band, everything that they'd done together. There's none of that in Jay's. Like, literally, he thanks the fans, obviously, and talks about the journey. He does not thank the band or mention the band once in his, like, farewell address or statement, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I don't think obviously it wasn't amicable or anything like that. It's just, it was stupid. And it's like a business decision and not a band decision. And I don't know. I don't agree with it at all. And it's got me even more skeptical about Slipknot going forward.
It's hardly a business decision though, because clearly the fans are fucked up about it. I mean,
Look at us.
You wouldn't make a fucking business decision that's gonna hurt the fans, and the fans are pretty fucking pissed.
I think the same concept applies as when they fired Joey. Obviously, if you just got surgery on your hip, you're not going to be able to play the drums. But
don't fire him. Get a fill-in.
I think they should have got a fill-in for the tour or whatever the fuck they're doing, and just been like, "Hey, Jay's out for a little bit. He just got a surgery. Wish him well. Whatever. He'll be back." Don't just fire him.
Yeah. That's just fucked.
I feel like it kind of feels like Slipknot is like. I'm going to compare this to like the Spartans. You know how the Spartans like.
Oh God, I know where you're going. Yeah.
A baby is born, and if the baby is not perfectly healthy and fit to be what they want him to be, they fucking yeeted him.
Yeah.
That's what Slipknot's doing with their members. Every time a member is like has to have a surgery or gets sick or has some kind of disease or whatever, or doesn't agree with the fucking rest of the band on some. They don't share the same opinions or some shit. They just throw them off a cliff.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they threw their future off of the cliff. Like, because
Yeah.
it will be impossible for me to not be biased about this, and like I'm going to be judging harder now. So,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of fans probably are going to be doing the same, and they've got a lot of making up to do in my eyes, as far as I'm concerned.
They've got a lot of making up to do in that regard, but also, from my understanding, I could be wrong about this because I haven't really talked to anybody other than you two about it, but the new album, as far as I'm aware, is not doing as well as I think they thought it would.
Most
And
of the things don't like the album.
and like that on top of the fact that they just pulled some shady shit with Jay, and it doesn't look right. And also, like I was telling Derek the other day, I seen some kind of rumor about them possibly, again, this is all speculation and rumor, but possibly trying to get Clown's son from Vended to replace him, which would be even more shady. Like, that's just some dog shit right there.
Straight up Van Halen bullshit right there.
Dude, I would probably never listen to another new Slipknot album going forward. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd feel right doing so. Because, like, dude, that's some underhanded shit right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not true. Hopefully that's not what they're trying to do, but fuck, dude, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the band. It's not a good look for anybody in the decision-making process for getting rid of Jay. Everybody's pissed about it. I don't think I've seen a single person that was like, "Oh hell yeah, finally Jay's gone. We can get somebody better in." No, because who the fuck else is gonna do it? The Rev? Oh wait, no, he's not there either. Rest in peace. But like, you can't just be doing that. You know what I mean?
And it's not even just Jay. They fucking canned Craig too. He was a founding member, I believe.
Yeah.
Who was before Chris?
Yeah.
They did Chris dirty.
Yeah.
They did him real fucking dirty.
It's getting hard to just respect them with the decisions that they're making behind the scenes, and it's hard to separate the art from the artist.
Especially when none of it is transparent. None of it's transparent at all. They don't give us any reasons behind it half the fucking time either.
There was a lyric in the song Till We Die where he says, "I've never known trust like the 9." What the fuck happened to that?
Fucking beats me. You got me beat on that one, son. I have no idea.
I think that's the perfect ending note for that. So before Toby's phone dies, let's go ahead and do our song and album rankings. Which do we want to do first?
Shoot. Albums.
Let's go through we can breeze through the albums real quick. We already talked about them, so we can just put them in order.
Hell, Toby's already damn near said his fucking top.
Yeah, Toby, I could piece your list together with your fucking spoiler having ass. All right.
I will say that my list has changed a little bit after we talked about it.
That's fair.
You know what? I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I'm looking at my list and I'm like, I don't completely agree with this list right now after talking about it.
I do. Mine's solid, dude.
You want to do like?
We'll do round robin. Like we'll start with 1, do our 7, 6, 5.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was gonna say.
So number 7, and this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. The End So Far.
Same.
The End So Far.
Yep.
Damn, we're in total agreement. Oh, number 6.
Couldn't have seen that one coming.
Number 6. We Are Not Your Kind.
Yep. Same.
Seriously,
yikes.
it's getting weird.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Shit.
All right, we're gonna break it right here. Okay, number 5. All Hope Is Gone.
Nope.
What'd you have?
Yeah, I'll say one of you go.
What'd you have?
I had We Are Not Your Kind.
Wait, I thought. What was your number 6?
The Gray Chapter.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
I didn't hear you say that either.
Damn it, Toby, speak up. And you're wrong. But anyways, go ahead, Jacob.
My number 5 is The Great Chapter.
God, you guys are high. All right.
I wish.
Number 4, Slipknot.
My number 4 is also Slipknot.
Oh God, I thought I was gonna get pitchforks and torches for me for putting it not in my top 3.
Nope. My 4 is also Slipknot. And that would have been different had it not been for my last 5 or so days, 4 or 5 days listening to everything in its entirety over and over and over again. That would have been different. But after that listening to, it is my number 4.
I'm gonna catch strays. Volume 3.
I was gonna say I knew it was gonna be voice.
Yikes.
All right, number 3, Volume 3.
Nope. Number 3, I have All Hope Is Gone.
I also have All Hope Is Gone.
All right. Number 2, The Gray Chapter.
Nope. Obviously.
Well,
my number 2 is Volume 3, Subliminal Verses.
My number 2 is the self-titled album.
All right.
Well, then we can all agree on number 1 then.
we all agreed on the least favorite and the best. Number 1, Iowa.
Iowa.
Was there really any ever question?
No.
Now, Jacob, I'm going to tell you, while we were talking, I moved Volume 3 from 2 to 3. I have it down as my number 2, but I was like, no. Great chapter. Great chapter, gotta be it.
I think a lot of that is sentiment, though.
No, it is. And like I said, before we were talking about the great chapter, my bias will show, and it just did.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's a perfectly valid reason to like something, though.
Also, let me just go ahead and completely say that my top 5, pretty much everything other than We Are Not Your Kind and so far, I love all of these. Like, I love all of the albums before those two. So, like, it's not a slight that The Great Chapter is my number 5. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
I just so happen to like the other ones more kind of situation, so...
No, I would even go as far to say, like, there isn't a whole lot separating, like, 6 through 3. So, but, you know, the end so far is on an island of its own, just like Iowa is. But the rest of it, it's all interchangeable. And in my mind, you can't really argue it because it's all good.
There are some days, I will say this. There are some days where
the end so far is your favorite?
Where the end so far rubs me so well in the best places. No. Where I do find myself wanting to listen to Volume 3 more than Iowa, though.
I get that.
Like, quite a bit. But I still think at the end of the day, if you add the nostalgia, you add the bias, you add the overall sound of the album, it is just the best Slipknot album. I mean, all around. But I love Volume 3 so much. And you'll see that when I get into my top 10 songs.
Well, let's get into it then.
Let's do her up.
All right. Number 10, Disaster Piece.
Hey, actually, for this one, just give us your top, just list your 10, because these are all going to be pretty fucking out there. But, like, all of us are going to have pretty different ones, I think.
I already told you guys this, but I don't think I said it on the actual thing. But I did something a little different because I like every Slipknot song, and it's just hard.
Right.
It's damn near impossible to nail down the top 10 because they fluctuate so much. I didn't do my top 10 favorite. I did my top 10 most underrated songs by Slipknot. So I've got some deep cuts in there.
All right.
Fair enough.
Do you want to go first then?
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead and do yours first then.
I gotta fucking kill the camera for it though.
That's fine.
Oh, gee. If you would have just wrote it on a piece of paper like somebody told you earlier.
It would have taken too long, pussy.
As long as we can hear
it.
Are you guys ready?
Even though now on my screen it says that Derek is Toby and Toby is Derek.
Well,
on my screen, Toby is blank and dead to me.
You'll see. You'll see.
Anyway. You want me to just read all of them?
Yeah, just go. Yeah. Just read all of them, yeah.
10 right. to 1.
10 underrated Slipknot songs. Solway Firth.
Okay.
Tattered and Torn,
Okay.
New Abortion,
Nice.
The Negative One, Metabolic,
Okay.
Get This, The Shape, and Everything Ends.
Okay.
Nice.
Solid. Solid. Solid.
Okay. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Good. Good.
Okay. Number 10.
And now,
Did that-
just to be fair, we are now doing from our not least favorite, but like in an actual line of like these are my top 10 from 10 being my least to most.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call out numbers so that way
Okay.
everybody knows what's up. Which yeah, like Toby said, it fluctuates because I know I did a top 10 list a while back, and yeah, it is vastly different now.
Okay, that's fair.
At least most of it.
Right.
Number 10, Disaster Piece.
What the fuck? No way.
What?
Number 10 is my disaster piece too, actually. Or disaster piece is also my number 10. I mean.
Oh fuck. Okay. Number 9, The Blister Exists.
Okay, I was like, no fucking way you have the same number 9, dude. There's no way.
Oh yeah, I was gonna shit if I did.
Yeah, same.
Number 8, My Plague.
Okay.
Number 7, Yen.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, Heretic Anthem.
Okay.
Number 5, Vermilion Part 2. Number 4, All Out Life. Number 3, Sarcastrophe. Number 2, Soulway Firth. And number 1, People Equal Shit.
Nice. Okay.
I am surprised that Sarcastrophe was so high on your list.
I'm surprised
dude,
you had.
I love it.
I'm surprised you had more songs from later albums than you did.
Me too.
Honestly.
I like when I was going through, I was like, God, I don't have anything from self-titled. Like it's, I don't know. It's weird. Because like I could have put like I would have felt like almost blasphemous to put Wait and Bleed on there, but like Liberate almost made it, and you know lots of honorable mentions, of course. Like it was hard to narrow it down to 10.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had a hard time getting 10 as well. I just there's a lot of songs that could have been on this list easily, but
oh yeah,
I put in the fucking work. All right, I narrowed this bitch down to fucking 10 of them that I know that I listen to probably more than the other ones. In fairness,
yeah.
So 10,
Let's fucking hear it.
Disaster Piece, of course.
Shocker.
Number 9, Vermilion, Part 2. 8 is Circle.
Nice.
7 is Everything Ends.
Yeah.
6 is Dead Memories.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I fucking fuck with Dead Memories so goddamn
I
hard.
actually really like Dead Memories
I love
too.
it.
I'll jump on that grenade. Nah, not for me.
Love it. Anyway, number 5 is Eyeless. And if you haven't heard the Worm Shepherd cover of Eyeless before, you're missing out. Go fucking listen to it. It is fucking wild.
Agreed.
Anyway, number 4, before I forget. Number 3, I Am Hated. Number 2, The Nameless. And my number 1, I've listened to this song probably more than I've listened to any other Slipknot song other than maybe Wait and Bleed and Before I Forget. But Left Behind is my number 1.
Nice.
I fuck with Left Behind pretty fucking heavy. It's my top 10.
I will say that, like, while I didn't make a top 10 because my top 10 would fluctuate so much, I do have a definitive favorite Slipknot song, and I'm curious if either one of you know it.
Definitive. Have you said it already? Is it in your 10 underrated?
It wasn't in my 10 underrated now.
He said it somewhere in this because he spoils everything.
I don't think I have said it, actually.
Really?
It was in both of your lists, though.
It was in both of my lists? Or our lists?
Disaster Piece?
People Equals Shit is my favorite Slipknot song of all time.
That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't have People Equal Shit in my list.
Oh, shit. Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I think the only
I
same
love
ones we
People
had
Equal Shit,
was
though.
was Vermilion Part 2 and Disaster Piece.
Yeah, I think so. Yep,
Hell
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Well,
I fucked with I Am Hated more, I think, on this listen through than I have in a long time. I've always loved the song, but that song was almost Wait and Bleed. It was almost Wait and Bleed, but dude, after listening to it again, I was like, dude, I fucking love I Am Hated so much.
dude,
So
I
much.
am hated. I am hated as a fucking machine gun.
Yeah. It's a bop, dude. The whole thing is just a banger.
Fucking A right.
Anyway, is there any...
We've been talking for a minute.
We've been talking for a lot of minutes. We've been talking for over 2 hours, actually. I just looked.
Woo!
So, with that being said, if there's no other closing discussions, anybody got anything?
Slipknot's great, even though the end so far wasn't. Linefest was awful. Toby and I are right on Slipknot's best song.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As much
I see how it is.
as
I got you.
as much as I haven't really been fucking with a lot of the creative and the business decisions that Slipknot's been making, they are still my favorite band of all time, and I really hope that they can figure it out and
Yeah, same.
get back to what they do best, because I don't want to see this band go any further down that fucking rabbit hole.
Right.
Yeah. As a Guns N' Roses fan, yeah, you might go through some dark days, but you'll hopefully get there.
Yeah, no, I think that's the general consensus. Is just like, dude, y'all need to figure it out. we can't be doing this. we need to do better. All right, just get good.
Yeah.
Figure it out, and we'll all be happy again. We'll also be extremely angry and vulgar and violent and aggressive and shit, as we all want to be while we're listening to fucking Slipknot. Okay? No more of this Adderall shit. All right, come on now. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that again.
The fuck?
I don't know what the fuck you guys were thinking, but please, come on. Anyway,
So, what's the next episode, Jacob?
what is the next episode?
What is the next episode? I don't think I'm aware.
Oh, come
Now
on.
my brain's farting. Oh, we doing Terrifier?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Terrifier. Okay, yeah. I just recently watched Terrifier. For those of you who do not know, I am late to the horror game, so I basically have these two goofballs to fill me in on the horror shit. And yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes, by the way. Spoiler.
Oh, God, yeah.
I fucking love it, dude.
There's a reason why I got that tattooed on my leg.
It's so good.
Like,
It was funny. But anyway, we will definitely be touching up on some Terrifier 1 and 2 on the next episode to prepare for next year's Terrifier 3, which now I am actually thoroughly looking forward to. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Christmas slasher.
Yeah, I did. I watched the teaser for it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. But
I'm pretty pumped about it.
yeah, so maybe I don't know if Toby will be there for the Terrifier episode or not, but maybe we'll get him in on the episode we do when Terrifier 3 inevitably comes out, and we'll definitely have a podcast episode for that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Talk about all three of them at the same time. But
If I'm here for the Terrifier thing or not, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
yeah, absolutely. If we can work scheduling out and shit, we can all land it again like we did today. I personally don't have a problem with it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Don't bother me none.
That being
But-
said, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate you.
This is the first time I think this is the first time I've actually talked to Derek outside of Snapchat messages since I left. So
Since August.
yeah,
It's just good.
good talking to you guys.
It's good talking to y'all in general because I don't live there anymore. So, so having long conversations like this nowadays are always fun for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Derek can go play some fucking Guitar Hero, and so I can go eat some fucking ramen because I am starving right now.
I'm going
Yeah.
to play some Slipknot.
The only thing I did today was a fucking ham and cheese sandwich at like noon.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and my phone just hit 5%. So
Hell
this is
yeah.
my
Well, if you liked it, make sure you give us a like. Make sure you subscribe on the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. And we will have links in the description for the shit that I fucking talked about in the video.
Also, let us know what your favorite Slipknot song or album is, please.
Absolutely. If you
We're
got the
all
time,
fans. Let's talk.
if you get the time to fucking throw us your top 10, hit us with the top 10s. We like to read that shit. So anyway, without further ado, we will see you in the next one. Everybody, go listen to Left Behind, the best Slipknot song, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.